Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference champions, East Stroudsburg University baseball with head coach John Kochmansky. The Warriors went 4-0 in Johnstown, won 7-1 over Westchester in the PSAC championship game. Coach, obviously must feel pretty good to sit here with the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference trophy.
It does, knowing where we came from when we started this, 6 years ago. But it'd been 42 years since we were able to walk home with any hardware. I guess the good news is I wasn't here 42 years ago, so I didn't have to actually wait that long. But it certainly is a good feeling.
What's the best part of it for this program? Like you said, you took over 6 years ago. I'm sure there are a lot of people that get credit for this trophy besides even the guys who are on the team.
Sure. You go back to, guys that have been in this program, even before I got here, and I think the neatest thing, other than the guys that got to experience it on the field, is, how many guys that were part of this, baseball program and the baseball alums that I've heard from, and how excited they are and how proud they are of what we've accomplished.
Qualified for the NCAA tournament for the second time in 3 years. You'll go to Winston-Salem, North Carolina later this week. Before you talk about the 4 games last week, what stands out to you?
The way we played defense. I think that's what we've done all year, and we preached going down there that teams in a tournament, when you're in a tournament setting, you need to be who you are and not try to be who you're not. And sometimes, when you get in tournaments and the pressure hits and you try to do a little bit too much. And we went down and we were exactly who we were. We played great defense, and at times we made dive plays, but we were solid defensively. We were very, very good on the mound. We didn't walk a lot of people. And we held true offensively. We didn't score in a lot of innings, but when we scored, we put up crooked numbers, and that's been what we did all year.
When you open on Wednesday night against Gannon, that game went almost 7 hours. You had the lightning delay of 4 hours and 13 minutes. Maybe one of the providential things with that was Brian Ernst threw the first 5 2/3, and then you got him out of the game. Obviously, that paid off later in the week.
It did, and it allowed Brian to. I guess he didn't throw as many pitches as he would have, and did allow him to come back. But through that rain delay, what I saw with our players is we were as loose as could be, and sometimes a rain delay can cause some adversity, and we just wanted to play, and they were loose. They were playing games in the clubhouse, and. It was, you look back and some of the things that you look at in that tournament, and, I think when we resumed, we just went right to it. And, and I think that the way they handled that adversity was, commendable to those guys.
On Thursday night, beat Millersville, again, a game that went late into the evening. Won that one 6-2. Ryan Lebreski set the school record for wins 8-0 now. What has he done for you guys?
He's been special. Ryan came to us from UMass, and it wasn't one of those transfer situations where he was really upset with his situation. He was out of the pen for them, and he wanted an opportunity to start, and he contacted us. He's come in and he's had that opportunity, and boy, has he taken advantage of it. And he's been as good as anybody in that stretch. I mean, to go 8-0, to run the table in the going through the PSAC East, and he was a couple outs away, and actually we got down. We were 1 out away from him beating Westchester. To be 9-0, if you think back. So
yeah.
His leadership, his athletic ability, it's really rubbed off on, a lot of our players. And he's not one of our captains, but he's certainly one of our leaders.
You advanced from that into the next game in the winners bracket. You beat California, who came back from playing earlier in the day on Friday. That was a game you were up 4-0, and they got it to 4-3, and they had the tying run on third base, and you got out of it, and then you responded and got 3 in the bottom half. Yeah,
Cal's is a scary team. They've got a star player in Kyle Petty in the middle. PSAC West Player of the Year, and and they have a lot of speed. So, they certainly create situations that will allow them to score a lot of runs. And Matt Smith, he pitched incredibly well. We had the one inning where they did get it to 4-3. But in fashion with this team, one of the things we discuss all the time is you got to answer back. And this team has really bought into that theory. And, if you go back when teams score, we do a really good job with answering. And they got it to 4-3. And then we, in our time at bat, we scored 3 and we got those 3 runs right back. So, in baseball, it's critical to have those types of innings, and again, when you're going to give up runs, and this team's not fazed by that, and they just go out and play.
Going into the tournament, you were the number 3 seed in the PSAC East. Westchester was the number 4, and you ended up meeting them for the PSAC championship on Saturday. Obviously, in that type of tournament, anything can happen through the first 3 days, and it did. But what really was the key on Saturday against Westchester?
Well, we went out and we got a lead, and the key was to Brian Ernst. I mean, he came back. He asked. I didn't assign him the pitch. I mean, he said, "I want the ball." And when your senior leader comes to you and says he wants the ball, well, I'm certainly going to give it to him. And didn't expect him to go 8. And we certainly had a plan to get the game to Keenan, but Brian ends up going 8, and that was that certainly was the big difference in that game.
Your big inning was 5 runs in the 5th. Westchester had gone to the bullpen, went to a really good reliever, and you guys were able to get 5 off them. In that inning, obviously that's a championship inning for you. What stands out?
Well, how we battled early, Kyle Weary is the reliever you're talking about, and he's a first-team All PSAC, and it's not even arguably he is the best reliever on our side, and has been even through Westchester's national run last year. He was their guy that closed it down for him, and we were able to battle and get some guys on base. And then we load him up, and he elevates a ball to our left-handed star Eric Boyer, and he runs one down the line all the way to the fence, and that was certainly a key. And then Eric Forth, being a switch hitter, he goes over to the left side, and as we know, Kyle's a sidearm guy, and lefties see the ball a little better, and then he gets a big hit, and so the lefties in that situation, and the way our right-handers battled just to get on base.
You went into the 9th inning with a 7-1 lead. Obviously, in baseball, that feels inevitable. We know it's not. Right. You're able to get the final 3 outs with Keenan Stair on the mound. What was your vantage point from the dugout when he got the called strike 3?
Well, my whole thing was to sit back and watch our players celebrate. It was special. It's something that these guys will remember. I'll remember, forever. And hopefully it doesn't take 42 years to win another one. But no one can take that away from these guys. They played 4 games. We came out on top in all 4. And, Keenan was, he pitched in every game. He was our number 4 starter. And, we moved him to the pen for the tournament. And he relishes that closer role. And, you look at the job, and we talk about our starting pitching with, what Squirt did and what Ryan did and what Brian did. But you look at the back end, and, do we win without Keenan on the back end? I don't think so.
You had an opportunity when the PSAC East team came out. You had 6 guys on it. Your first 5 hitters in the order, and then Ryan Lebreski, and obviously Brian is a utility guy. Mm-hmm. Your lineup's been pretty stable all year. You've really only played 10 guys with the 9 positions. Just run through some of those guys and their contributions.
Well, we're Joey Benny being our leadoff guy, and he's he's not really a leadoff guy. With this team, he has to be. He's kind of a free swinging, offensive guy that is incredibly talented. But and then you get through our lineup, and Drew Hersick at third, and Eric Linares, and those guys have all contributed. The Boyers, the Ernsts, those guys are Mike Tenaglia, those guys with they're driving in all the runs, and they tend to get in the limelight a little bit more, but this has been an unbelievable team effort from start, until where we are now, and hopefully we can go represent ESU very well next weekend down in the regional.
Just looking through, offensively, you hit 308 going into the regional. On base 385. I mean, you've always been a pretty good on base team. Chris Knott has really given you that power source in the middle of the order, hitting number 5, 24 extra base hits right now, and I mean his defense in center field all week and all year has been really outstanding.
Yeah, he's a legitimate star in this league. He came in and he's started as a freshman. Put together some decent numbers in his freshman campaign, and last year put together a solid season. But he's certainly blossomed and. Defensively, he's a 90 to 92 guy from the outfield that steals bases, he runs, he plays the game the right way, and he's got incredible power. And he's been able also with the emergence of Eric Forth hitting behind him. They really can't pitch around Chris, so he's seeing some better pitches to hit, and he's certainly taking advantage of it. And that 3-run homer coming out of that rain delay, against Gannon, that was a big boost for us, in Game 1.
You have the trip to Winston-Salem coming up. You went down there last year and played 4 games against Winston-Salem. This is going to be at Wake Forest University now. And in a tournament like this, you're going to see a bunch of different teams. Your impression overall of the tournament field?
Obviously, the field, you get to this point, you have conference tournament winners and then at-large teams, and everyone's very good. We open up with Winston-Salem, the team's hitting over 340. They pitch it. They're very, very athletic. They've got a shortstop that is a phenomenal player, and we're really going to have to control what he does. He swings it, he's got a little bit of pop, and he really runs well. And so, on the surface, he's the guy we need to control because he can really make them go. But as we move through it, as I said, we need to be who we are, and we need to go down there and be that top 10 team in the country in defense like we've been all year. We need to be able to throw strikes and pitch it and get good starting pitching. And then, our offense has seemed to find a way to get enough done. It makes it a little nervous. I think, you sit there, I sit there, and the games are always close. We tend to leave some guys on base a little bit more than you'd like to, but it's just been the makeup of this team, and, they've been able to find ways to get it done.
School record, 33 wins for ESU going in the NCAA tournament, and another stretch. We'll see what happens. But
yeah, certainly. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, 33 wins. I was here for the 32. With that was a pretty special team there, but they didn't get a chance to play in the postseason, and so it's nice to see this team. They said they broke that 32 mark, but they also got a chance, and they did it in the postseason.
Look forward to a trip to North Carolina this week, playing at Wake Forest, and remind Warriors fans that ESUWarriors.com will have links for everybody associated with ESU baseball to follow the Warriors in the NCAA tournament.
Great. Thanks, Greg.